JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 26th of April 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is of course the German DAX, and yep, just a quick update. So basically we are stuck at the same level, the same area, I would even say. We are still trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of February. But at the same time, we are struggling to get a kind of an, let's say, to stay above this 15,312 territory, the one that I mentioned to you this morning. But don't get me wrong, we have managed to drift initially heavily to the downside, but then found some support just kind of around the 15,237 territory, and now we're kind of back here, back again to this area, back to closer to the 15,300 level, and 15,312 territory. Yep. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this one. I mean, eventually, if we do see a last push here before the closing bell, and we see the, let's say, the buyers being able to keep the daily candle above this hurdle, then yes, this increases the chances for a further move higher towards the current all-time high near the 15,502 territory, and then we'll take it from there. If of course this upside line gets broken and the price falls below the 15,072 territory, somewhere around here, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for more sellers, guys, because this move here would not only place the price below the 21-day EMA, but also would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. Now, jumping into Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, last week, if you remember, I mean, it was a bit of a roller coaster ride here. There we go. My MT4 popped out. So yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster ride here. We violated this upside line, which was drawn from here from the low of the 4th of March. Now we no longer need that one, and mainly now we will stick to some of the key resistance and support levels. Now for the downside, it's pretty straightforward. What I'm looking at here is, if we get a drop somewhere below the 33,687 territory, yes, this could open the door towards lower areas, but we would still be very careful near the 21-day EMA here. Now, if you want to go, of course, for further declines, then yes, a drop in daily close below the 21-day EMA might do the trick, unless it's going to be something like this that we had here in the beginning of March. But of course, like I said, this is one of the options to keep an eye on. But at the moment, if we take a look at the cash index, we'll see that the price is actually trying its best to make it to move higher. It's currently trading near the 34,090 zone, so basically above Friday's close. And yep, let's see if we can actually overcome this 34,257 territory, and that's the current all-time high. If that gets cleared, of course, the index would be placed into uncharted territory. But again, don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, anything can happen. We are right now in the earnings season, so this week we have major companies such as Microsoft, Google, Tesla today reporting their earnings. So keep your eyes on those, guys. That might give a bit of a shake-up here to the indices, but again, for now we can only go from what we see, and for the moment I'm going to continue aiming slightly to the upside. I'll aim for that all-time high near the 34,257, and then I'll take it from there. Because maybe, just maybe, we'll get a nice push higher, but let's say if we just get a false breakout and the index then still drifts lower and closes the day below this area, well, I mean, then it could show that we are kind of struggling a little bit with the upside. Now, in terms of the downside, guys, what I would like to see here is again a drop below this 21-day EMA, as I said, yes, and then lower levels could be met. I'll also say that initially, kind of, let's say if we get a drop below this hurdle, this 33,687, which is the low of last week, yes, that could help start looking at some lower levels, because this would confirm a forthcoming lower low. Nasdaq 100, and also it was a bit of a roller coaster ride here on Nasdaq last week, but as you can see, the index managed to kind of stay above this 13,880 territory right here, which is marked by the highest point of February. Now, if we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is balancing just around the 13,900 level. Let me just double check that, 916 level. So basically, still above this highlighted territory, but below Friday's close. Now, I would say like this, that as long as it stays above this highlighted area, then there is still a good chance for a possible move higher. But if it starts breaking and falling below this highlighted area, then, well, we could maybe consider a bit of a larger correction to the downside. But if you're not really comfortable with that idea in terms of the lower levels, then what you could do here is keep your eyes on this one right territory, which last week kind of provided good support. It was seen as a good resistance level as well in the past. So, yep, in a way, a drop below this 13,700 territory might do the trick for a few more sellers. Now, quick update on silver. So silver is struggling with the upside. However, there is still a chance for silver to move higher. Now, first of all, we're continuing to trade above this upside line taken from the low, the 31st of March. We continue to trade above the EMAs. All of these EMAs here, the 21-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day EMAs. So, yep, in a way, there is still a chance for silver to kind of climb higher. If you're not really comfortable with this idea, then what I would suggest here is maybe to keep an eye and wait for a pop above the 26.63 territory, because that's did act as a good area of resistance, because that's the high of the 18th of March, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's the high of the 18th of March, because the highest point of March is right here, the 27.07 level right here. So yeah, basically, long story short, for now, I mean, there is still a chance for this one to move higher. We're cautiously bullish. We want to see how it's going to perform around here, but if suddenly it starts breaking this upside line and falls below the 25.46 territory, somewhere around here, now that's where it could become a little bit more tricky for more buyers, so keep that in mind. Now, jumping into WTI oil, and this is what I was talking about this morning, guys. I told you this morning that I am leaning a little bit more towards the downside, because this kind of little pattern here for me is a bit of a bearish one, and well, that's exactly how it is looking right now, because as you can see, we're shifting lower and we're approaching this 60.64 territory, the low of last week, and if that gets cleared, guys, then, well, I mean, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. Now, so yeah, keep your eyes on this one. Everything seems to be looking quite interesting here. Can we get that move below the 60.64 territory? Well, let's just wait and see. Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash is reversing to the upside nicely. I mean, most of the cryptos are reversing nicely to the upside. We're climbing back above the 21-day EMA, so we didn't really reach this upside line here, taken from the low, the 24th of March. But to be honest, my question here is, can we stay today above this 21-day EMA? If we can, then maybe, just maybe, we could see this one maybe climbing up again. I'm not saying we could, let's say, drive all the way here towards back to these highs, but a good push higher could be possible, where maybe we could test the area somewhere around here. Let me just put this one on the chart. Actually, a little bit more here, the 1041 zone, and then we'll take it from there, guys. Unless it starts breaking this upside line here, taken from the low of the 24th of March, and starts falling below the 694 zone, let's round it up here a little bit, then yes, we could consider a bit of a move lower. Ripple, so Ripple is ripping to the upside and also climbing back above the, well, not only above this 1.0960 territory, the one that I've mentioned several times here in my previous videos, but it's also climbing above that 21-day EMA. Can it stay above it? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. For now, everything's looking quite positive here. If it stays above that 21-day EMA, my next target is the 1.4634 or the 1.57 territory right here. Unless it starts dropping back heavily below this 1.0960 zone, then, well, I mean, maybe this is where I'll start abandoning the upside scenario. In the near term, of course. Now, AUD/USD. So finally popping higher, and throughout the whole of last week, I talked about this pair, and I kept kind of preparing you guys for this, because I said that we need that pop first above the 0.7757 territory in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. And not only that, we need to see a daily candle staying above this area. Well, I mean, so far so good, but of course we still have a lot of like the whole US session to go through, so let's see how all this is going to play out, and if we're not really going to get something like here, for example, on the 20th of April, like a very strong false breakout. But again, like I said, at the moment, everything's looking quite positive, but yeah, be very careful, guys. If markets suddenly, if equity markets start suddenly reversing to the downside sharply, then, well, maybe we could see AUD/USD drifting back down, and, well, we could get that false breakout eventually. USD CAD. So this one here is on a decline, and we're moving away from this lower side of the previous range. I mean, I talked about this, guys, to you, and I said that if we stay outside this little range here, either above or below it, then this could lead to the next kind of short-term directional move. And at the moment, you can see that yes, we are drifting lower. We are moving below even this 1.2450 territory right here, and my next target excuse me, my next target will be the lowest point of March, near the 1.2365 level, and then I'll take it from there. GBP/NZD. So GBP/NZD is also approaching key important support area near the 1.9175 level right here. So yep, I mean, this is one's pretty straightforward. If we get a nice break below this, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. And yep, and then we could maybe target the 1.9114 zone or the 1.8937 territory right here, marked by the low, the 26th of February, and then we'll, like I said, we'll take it from there. For the upside, well, although I do understand that maybe to wait for a pop above the 1.95 territory could be a bit of a wait here. Of course, that's the slightly kind of safer bet option, I would say, but you could start looking at the upside if we climb back above the 200-day EMA, which is approximately right now at this point in time is around not far from that 1.9361 zone. Quick update on Euro against Turkish lira. This morning I talked about this one, and what I said to you guys that we need to wait for that reversal signal. Initially this morning I said to you that there is a good chance for this one to drift higher if it remains above this 10.20 territory. Well, as you can see, it didn't. I mean, it started drifting back below it, and this is what I said, that if it starts falling back below this area, then, well, maybe we could see a bit of a corrective move here lower. At the moment, this is exactly what's happening. We're seeing this move to the downside, which we currently class as a corrective move. Because if we want to start drawing some upside lines here, you'll see that basically we are currently still, like I said, above this upside line, although tentative, of course, but we're still above it. And this move lower can be considered as a temporary correction. If this upside line gets broken, and this is where we could maybe start considering maybe a bit of a larger move to the downside. Euro GBP. So something else I wanted to quickly share with you. As you can see, this 0.8719 level, this one right here, is kind of providing very good resistance so far. That's the high of the 16th of April, and in a way, if I'm not mistaken, let me just quickly double check. Is it still the current highest point of no, that's no longer today. We kind of had a very fractional violation of that level, so that was the previous kind of highest point of April. Now today we've created a new slightly new, if we can say it this way, this new high for April. But as you can see, it kind of, the pair drifted back down, and we're kind of stuck here right now with this. So at the moment, we would like to see the daily candle ending the day above this area. If it does that, then, well, higher levels could be met. But if it struggles, then basically maybe a bit of a corrective move lower here could be possible. However, I would prefer to, in order to consider the downside, I would prefer to see a drop somewhere below this area. Let me just adjust the territory here, and I would like to see a drop below the low of the 19th of April, and that's approximately around the 0.8589 zone. And then we will take it from there, guys. But for now, we're closer to this barrier. We're closer to the upper kind of this resistance here, which, if broken, yep, could open the door towards higher levels. And finally, EURUSD. So I had a bit of an issue with EURUSD this morning. I mean, a bit of a technical issue. I mean, in the video, the analysis on the EURUSD got cut out. But basically what I was saying to you guys then, that for now we are at a very interesting and tricky spot here on EURUSD, because we are near this key resistance. I've my target, my last week's target got reached, so I kept on saying that this is my target, this is my 1.2113 territory which I'm aiming for, and together with this downside line, and yep, as you can see, we managed to perfectly reach that area. So can we push above this? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. For now, we're seeing just a bit of a healthy correction, I would say. For now, this is how we are going to class this. But of course, if this upside line gets broken and the rate falls below the 1.1990 territory right here, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few sellers. And then, yep, we could go for slightly lower areas up until this 200-day EMA. But for now, I would say I'll take a bit of a neutral stand on this one, and I'll wait for a violation of one of these lines, either the upside one or the downside one, in order to consider the next short-term directional move, guys. So that's it for the session, guys. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found this useful, and really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes. I really do that, so thank you very much. That means a lot, and I hope you're finding these sessions useful for yourselves. So stay safe, guys. Always have your stop loss in place. Everything will be fine then. And yep, I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.